Oh my god, my friends were right. I should have read this book 1,000 years ago because it is awesome. This trilogy, I would not call it a trilogy because Philip Pullman himself says that this is a single story that was published in 3 parts, publishing and marketing reasons. So this is his Dark Materials. I filmed a review about The Golden Compass. I'll put a link here. But now I finished reading the 2nd and the 3rd book and I'm completely impressed. Lyra is the main character in the 1st book and will join her in the 2nd and the 3rd one, and he is by far my favorite character in the entire story, one of the best characters I read about. After I finished reading this book, I realized that Philip Pullman is quite a gifted writer. In the preface of this book, he tells us that he began to write his novel with little sense of the plot, even less notion of the theme, and only the vaguest idea of the characters. Considering he didn't plot this whole story, it's amazing how in the end of the day everything fits so well. The Subtle Knife is the 2nd part of his Dark Materials and it is my favorite. It's better than The Golden Compass. In my opinion, it's better than The Amber Spyglass. It was the part that I most enjoyed reading. And this is probably because in The Subtle Knife we are introduced to William Perry, and Will will be as important as Lyra to the whole story, to the whole thing. He is such an amazing character, and the chemistry between these 2 children is amazing. It's something that I don't remember reading about. I felt I was there when they met for the first time, and the entire relationship, the friendship they built, how they start trusting each other, it was so beautiful to read. At the beginning of the 2nd book, Will became a criminal. And when Lyra asks the Golden Compass about him and his background, and the compass says what crime he committed, I was expecting her to freak out. And she was, oh, great, he's trustworthy, because I have friends who committed the same crime and they are amazing people. So the entire way, there is a sense of a bizarre morality and that questions the values, and I think that is so brave for a writer to do something like this in a book, in a story that it's somehow intended for children. It is by far one of the best things in fantasy I've read in my life. I'll not keep talking endlessly about this book. I've not even read the plot of the 2nd and the 3rd book or read the blog, but there are some things here that impressed me a lot, especially in the end of the book. Mary Malone used to be a nun. She leaves the church and she studies to be a scientist, and she is a scientist in this book. And she became like an atheist or agnostic or something like this. She quit believing in God. And in the end of the book there's a dialogue, such a brave dialogue to put in a children's book. When I first saw you in your Oxford, Lyra said, you said one of the reasons you became a scientist was that you wouldn't have to think about good and evil. Did you think about them when you were a nun? No, but I knew that I should think. It was whatever the church taught me to think. And when I did science, I had to think about other things altogether. So I never had to think about them for myself at all. But do you now? Said Will. I think I have to, Mary said, trying to be accurate. When you stopped believing in God, he went on, did you stop believing in good and evil? No, but I stopped believing there was a power of good and a power of evil that were outside us. And I came to believe that good and evil are names for what people do, not for what they are. All we can say is that this is a good deed because it helps someone, or that's an evil one because it hurts them. People are too complicated to have simple labels. Yes, said Lyra firmly. Did you miss God? Asked Will. Yes, Mary said, terribly, and I still do. And what I miss most is the sense of being connected to the whole of the universe. I used to feel I was connected to God like that, and because He was there, I was connected to the whole of His creation. But if He's not there, then So this scene here is like the end of the book. Really impressed me because I think it was so brave for an author that is writing a book intended for children, at least at the beginning intended for children, to write about things like this, usually in literature, especially in children literature, and it's still a bestseller despite all these things. Another thing that pleased me a lot is that Lyra and Will, they are in their early teens. So I think it's brilliant that the role they have in this story is not misplaced. Usually when we read about young people, they are like amazing, they are so capable of doing anything. Their place in the story was definitely believable. There are many characters here that are adults. They are doing many things that are important to the story, so you never feel that the whole plot will be solved by the two children. You know, Philip Pullman puts his characters in the right places, in the right time, and each character is important at some point of the story. If you're looking for a book from a writer that's trying to think outside the fantasy box, please give His Dark Materials a try. I think that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have you read this book? Please let me know in the comments. See ya, and thanks for watching.